Here I'm going to show you how to change formation in FC26 Ultimate Team, both your main formation and also how to switch to different formations whilst playing a game. So we're going to go through all those beautiful things. To get started, you want to go into the club section on FC26 Ultimate Team. This is being done right near the start of the game, so my squad is still pretty sucky. So don't judge, man. Don't judge. All right, here we go. So we're inside here. This is my formation at the minute, a 4-2-1-3, which I think is a pretty nice formation, pretty defensive, but we've got some nice attacking options as well. But the main thing you can do, if you want to change your main formation, on the left-hand side, you should see a button next to Team Management, just under that England logo there. So press that, the L3 button, that's your left stick, press the top of that. When you've done that, you'll have access to these: tactics, formation, squad builder, etc. Formation is, funny enough, where you go to change formation. And there are 29 formations in FC26 at the time of making this video. So we can scroll through them with using either your left stick, left and right, or your left and right on your D-pad, like here, and see what other ones we've got. What you want to be paying attention to here are the positions on the pitch here. So for example, if I have wingers and I change to this where I've got a striker and two cams instead, I need to have either wingers who can also play as a cam or switch to cam players in there to make the best sense of things. Because if you play players out of position, you'll lose their chemistry bonuses. And that's not good, man. You want to have the best of everything. So you go through here and you'd pick whatever formation you want. So I've actually forgotten what one I had. I think it was the 4-2-1-3. Yeah, it was. So that tells you what your stuff is like at the minute. So once you're happy with that, down the bottom left-hand side, you choose select. Okay, so that's my main formation here. But you can change formation even whilst playing a game, or you can store multiple formations and just move from one to the other, but you can also access them in game. I'm going to cover that as well. So where you go for that is, first of all, you'll be looking at, when you're in your formation here, just choose cancel here. And you want to check that all of your players are in the right positions. So we'll just talk about that quickly before we add multiple different formations in our tactics. Okay, so let's just talk about positions here. I want to show you something with Gordon here. And if we have a little look at switching Gordon to somewhere else, I'm going to switch Gordon with a centre back. And what we see then is exclamation marks for both these players saying, whoa, 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 there's a problem. What they lose is their chemistry perks. So you see Cruz here has these three little diamonds down the bottom left-hand side. You can see we've now got an exclamation mark with Gordon and with Dusan here, or however you pronounce that name. Sorry if I got that wrong. But if we have a little look with right stick button, so we press that on Gordon, we can see the attribute details here. Everything is flat because they've got no player chemistry. And if we look at the player details here using L1 on the top left-hand side, we can see the positions that Gordon's card as standard can play. We've got left wing, left midfielder, right wing, but that's it. So putting him as a centre-back means that's not going to work. So if we now switch Gordon back, put him here, you can see he's got 2 chemistry boosts. He's got a bit of things in common. I'll cover that in a separate video, how chemistry works. But you can see there's a bit of common ground there, so he's getting a bit of a chemistry boost. And if we have a little look now, and we have a little look at the attribute details, you can see we're getting some perks for that chemistry boost, +2 on various different things here. So that's why you would want to do that. So you want to make sure people are in the right positions. You've got players who can play those positions. But what about multiple tactics? How does that work? So on the left-hand side, we'll go back into that. Choose Team Management, left stick button, and then have a little look at tactics this time. So what I've got here is I've got a tweak 1, a tweak 2, and a default tactic. And I'm going to explain what I did here. So we'll get rid of these first. So I'm just going to choose this and delete. So the way I'm doing that is down the bottom. We can go for the different options. So it says manage tactic, and I'll just delete this because I just set this up just to test it. So I'm going to repeat that here to show you how it works. So this is the default tactic that we've got, and we can go into this and we can edit things about this. And the reason why you may want to do that, you might want to change your defensive line. You might want to go with a different build-up style. You might want to hit R1 and play around with the player roles, which I'm going to talk about as a tweak. So let's say you've got a tactic here and you go, kind of like that, but I'd like another option. Maybe I want to play around with player roles and how they're going to move forwards, or maybe entire changes to positions and an entirely different formation. But the downside of that is you might have players end up playing out of position if you're going to do that in game. So down at the bottom there, you can see we've got manage tactic square. And one of the things I like to do here is choose a duplicate. So what that then does is we've got tactic 2, which is a duplicate. You can see they look exactly the same apart from the name. And why that's nice is I can then go into this and start tweaking things. So I can go down the bottom, it was square. So I'm going to rename it, and I'm going to just call it tweak 1 like I had before. So we're going to go tweak. You're obviously free to call them whatever you want. So we'll do that, and we'll go space 1, done. And then what I could do is go into this tactic and go, I want to play around with stuff here. So I want to try instead, I'm going to try a balanced defensive approach. So we'll do that. So we'll do that there. Did that happen? Let me see. Hang on. So no, it didn't. So let me do that X to select. And then maybe I'm going to say on the player roles, I want to play around with a few things. So maybe I want to mess around with Cruz here and see what happens if I change Cruz to a deep line playmaker. Maybe Endo, we want to go as a, I don't know, let's see, a centre half. And we want to go with this fullback here, change to a wing back. So we're keeping the positions, but we're saying, look, I want you to play a bit differently in the role here. So I'm just moving these around. So saying we'll have balance there. Role photo on the left, you can see here. So we'll say, I don't know, attacking wing back here, add to support. So that's the changes that I've got. Okay, so we're playing around with different things here. We can see Gordon's not doing much here. And you want to be cycling through these and seeing where they excel. And up above this, it says view all roles. So you can quickly see where they excel. If there's a plus, it means they're better at it. If they have plus plus, they're world class at it. So you can see Gordon works well as an inside forward. So we could set that up and then choose how we want him to be. Maybe we want him to be roaming. So we go, okay, cool, that's what we want. When we're happy with that, we can go back down the bottom left-hand side, and then we've got that tweak 1 there. And you can see all those changes are now quite different to our first tweak there. Now, I said you could also create an entirely different tactic if you wanted, so you could do that. So we could say, let's use this again, and then for tweak 3, so there it is, tactic 3, we'll change that, we'll rename it tweak 3, so I'll just go there, tweak. And then we'll go space 3, done. And here what I could do is I could change the formation entirely if I wanted. So I could go formation here and have a little look at what might be a more interesting formation. Maybe we go with this and we go 2 wingers, 2 strikers and a centre mid. Now this has a problem, and you can see there, look, it's saying, look, Heaps is going to be out of position if you go for this one. So where we would be working with this is to say, remember, you want to change your player if you're going to go with this. But let's say we're just going to keep with that, right? You get the idea. You can change everything there. So there are 3 tactics there. You'd probably rename that one something more useful, like 4-2-4. So maybe we should do that. Let's just do that so we know what the heck it is. So let's go 4-2-4, right? So we go there. So that's done. Now, you can activate any of these to be your default tactic if you wish by going to the activate tactic there between them. So that's possible, but I'm just going to leave it that this is my default tactic that I'm happy with that. Remember, you could just hit square there to rename it if you wish. So I've got all of those. When you hit circle, make sure you hit save, okay? So now we've got that save, we need to know how on earth we use those directly in game, and that's what we're going to do now. So pick a game where you're happy to, experiment a little bit. So typically that's going to be squad battles. So we'll go to play, and we'll go to play versus AI, go to squad battles, and then depending on how you hit your D-pad will depend on how you access these. So let's just go professional here, and we'll just go advanced. Make sure you're picking the right team. We'll go here and here and there like that. Nice kit. So there we go. We're all good. So now you want to know how to change formation while you're actually in game. So you can see we're running around here. We're in that default formation. And if I press left on my D-pad, check it out. Down there it shows my different tactics. It'll go away after a second. So if I want the 4-2-4, I press left again like that. And now that's going to be the tactic. So they should automatically move to that tactic as we go forwards, but that means Heaps is now going to be out of formation. But if we hit that left again, you can see 424 is indeed the tactic that we've got. Or we could switch to that tweak there. So you just press it, let it highlight, and then it'll go away, and it should change to that tactic. And then when you press it again, you can see we're now on tweak 1. And there you go. That's how to change formation in FC26 Ultimate Team directly in-game. The other thing you can do on the D-pad is if you hit the right on the D-pad, you can change between defending and attacking as a slight tweak to your formation, as opposed to changing formation entirely. But that's how you do it. Obviously, this is what you don't want to be doing is leaving the match here, but I need to just pause that and talk about it. So this is going to go down as a loss. What are you doing to me, guys? You best like this video because I sacrificed the whole game there for you just so we could do it. And look, we got stuffed 3-0 because of that. Man, you know, you need to hit that subscribe button for me and help me out here. So hopefully that answered your question for it. So remember, you're in the club there, you go to the squad, and it's that left stick button to change. And remember to adjust those tactics. Let me know how you get on. I hope that helped you out. Thumbs up, much appreciated. Any comments, welcome. Have a little look at my website too, grubmagnet.com. I've got an FC26 area on there. Going to be adding lots of interesting stuff there beyond videos as well. So I would love you to subscribe to there as well. Thanks so much for the support.